Guys, this is a beautiful day. We just want to quickly talk about a very interesting how to know areas that are affected by erosion prone areas, how to know them during dry season. It's very important that you know areas that are affected by erosion, especially if you are buying a property. Okay, so once you're able to watch out for these areas, you know how to avoid such. So basically, I'll be talking about four ways. There are four ways to actually spot out areas that are affected by erosion. So the first one we're going to talk about now is sand dunes. Sand dune has to do with a place where we have a lot of sands, a lot of sands. Just as you can see now, this is a sand dune. So we have many sands on the road. So if you see a place like this, you have to ask question. You ask question, why are there so many sands or erosion, so to speak? As this water activity continue to take place in this area, it takes a lot of sand. It drags sand along the way. So as the water flows from one direction to the other direction, it carries a lot of sand, on its way. You understand? So for that reason, we now have many of it, many sands gathered together in the same area or along the same street. So you can see this one. If you look at this street very well, you can see that there are a lot of sands. You understand? Sand. So this shows that there is erosion activity in this place. Okay, let me turn the camera a little bit. You see some sand dunes here. So it's a beautiful way to know areas that is affected by erosion. Then another thing you need to bear in mind is that for there to be a situation like this, it tells you about the landscape of the area or topography, so to speak. If the land is slanted, if it's slanted, yes, we are going to have situations like this because it's slanted. So water is going to flow from higher area down to lower regions. You understand? So that's why we have situation like this. Otherwise, if the land or the topography of the area is just flat, then it will be difficult to have situation like this. You get it, because there won't be any room or avenue for uh, erosion to continue to flow through. So I've mentioned one of the ways we spot out areas that are affected by erosion and how you can really identify such areas during dry season. Now, the second area I want to talk about is one I just hinted on very briefly. That's the topography. You understand? Like I said before, for there to be sand dunes like this, it shows that the general landscape of the place is slanted. So because it's slanted, erosion or water will have to find its way. It has to move from higher region to lower region. You get it? So basically, that is the second way we can actually know areas that are affected by erosion. Okay, then the third way we can also find out or know areas that are affected by erosion is neighborhood signs. Yeah, neighborhood signs. What that involves is that you just look around, you look around the environment. When you look around the environment, you watch out for certain signs. You get it, certain signs that will indicate that there's erosion. What are some of those signs? Okay, let me see if I will see that sign. Yeah, let me see. Okay, I'm just taking a walk along to see if I'll see that sign. There's a sign. So meanwhile, you can see that there's a lot of sand deposit here. You see a lot of sand deposit here. So the other sign that I'm talking about is that around the area, you see some houses, they have low fence, sort of low fence, let's say one coach in front of their building. You get it? They have, just low fence in front of their building. Unfortunately, I don't. Okay, there's one in front there. Maybe I'll take a walk there. So once you see a low fence, maybe one coach in front of their building, it shows that erosion is disturbing that place. Now, why did we conclude like that? You see, if they don't put that one coach in front of their building, what will happen? As there is erosion, as water flows, it tends to enter people's compound. So people will now do a small fence in front of their building, or even front and side. So they do that so that erosion will not enter their houses. So this is another sign to spot out areas that are affected by erosion. Okay. Then the other point I want to talk about is when you interact with neighbors, interview neighbors, you get it. When you interact with them, you ask them during rainy season or when it rains, where does the water go to? Where does it flow to? Just interact with them. When you interact with them like that, you tend to get handful information about the activity of water in that particular environment. They can give you first-hand information about it because they live in that place. They know what happens. They know where the water flows to. You get it? They know where it flows to. So just interact with them. If you go to an area for the first time, you want to buy a property, these are certain things, signs you watch out for. You get it? You see, I've talked about four of them, about 4 ways to identify areas that are affected by erosion. It is very important that you watch out for these signs because I've seen cases whereby people go to area, they don't check out the topography, they don't watch out for these signs. They'll just buy a property there. At the end of the day, or during rainy season, they discover that that place is erosion prone area. All the water in the region flow to that place and you begin to combat erosion. I know it's very difficult to actually combat erosion. It's very difficult to fight it. You understand? Except you have a lot of money. Otherwise, it's very difficult. And apart from that, your DPC level may be lower than that of the environment. And when water flows in, it flows to your compound. So how are you going to fight that kind of erosion? It will be very, very difficult to fight that kind of erosion because there's no way you can raise the DPC of your building anymore. You can't do that anymore. You get it? The only option you would have is just to fence round. No matter what, even when you fence round and your own property is a bit lower than that environment, water will still find its way. Even when you fix a fence there, water will still find its way to that place. So it's good that we take care of these vital points, knowing areas that are affected by erosion in case we want to buy property. Because we have seen a lot of persons, they just buy, they don't care. They just go ahead to buy, maybe because it's cheap and all that, and they don't live in that area, they don't know what's happening. Only people in that locality can tell what is actually going on. They just buy, and before you know it, during rainy season, it becomes a very big problem. So, guys, that's all for today, and thank you very much for watching. If you find this information very helpful, why don't you consider liking and sharing information? Then if you have any question, you can also drop it in the comment section.